What does your workspace look like? Just take a quick look at your desk right away. Apart from your system, you'll notice a lot of other items such as connecting wires, external monitor maybe, a coffee cup, or even your phone. The idea is to have a place where you could use multiple items that could work together to do your office work. Today's session is about a similar concept, workspaces in IntelliJ IDEA. It brings together to view multiple projects at the same time in a single IntelliJ IDEA instance. But why would you want to do that? What are the advantages? And what are the limitations? Let's find out answers to all these questions and more. Hi everyone, thanks for joining in for another episode of IntelliJ IDEA Livestream. I'm your host, Mala Gupta. And today I'm pleased to welcome Andrey Belyaev.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, hey Andrey, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thanks, Mala. Thanks for the introduction. And again, hello, everybody.
So, Andrew, this seems like another meeting that we have at office, but with the difference that now everyone can view us talking together.
Yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Welcome to our session. And today we will talk about
mhm.
workspaces. So, Mala is my host, and she will assist me with the session. She will repeat your questions. She will ask her questions if she will have any. So, welcome, everybody.
And I wanted to share some housekeeping details before I let you start with your session. Everyone watching, please use the YouTube chat to post your question. We also have Dimitri from the IntelliJ IDEA team who has been working on creating the workspaces, development of code spaces, workspaces in IntelliJ IDEA. He would be answering your question, and I would also take a look at the questions, and I'll ask the questions to Andre as he would be presenting his session. And yes, the most important question: the session will be recorded and will be hosted on IntelliJ IDEA's YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, now is the time to do so. And if you like today's session, which I guess you will, do not miss to like the video. And with that, Andre, let me add your slides to the stream. And yes, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Mala. So, let us start with the main question. So, what is the workspace, and how it plays in IDEA and other IDEs? So basically, the answer is pretty simple. Workspace is one of the ways of arranging your code in your IDE. The purpose of workspaces is to decrease your cognitive load when you're working with multiple projects. So basically, the development of workspaces was initiated by a very old issue, and in this issue, David described the requirement. He wanted to see all his projects in one IntelliJ IDEA frame. So we had different approaches to this problem. And one of the solutions was to provide multi-tab UI in the IntelliJ IDEA, and I believe Mac users saw that, and probably most of you used that if you work on Mac. But it looks like that on other platforms it didn't work fine. Also, people wanted to see all the projects in the project tree, which is responsible for showing their code. And that's why the problem was approached again, and finally we came up with a solution. By the way, if we will see on the issues votes histogram, you will see that people kept voting for this issue for a pretty long time. And finally, we delivered an early access plugin for you, so you could see how it will look like in IntelliJ, in not just IntelliJ IDEA, but hope in other JetBrains IDEs. So some people may ask me, what is the difference between workspace and a project? And Mala, probably you have the same question. But yeah, so what is the main difference between them? Project is the concept of the describing structure of a deliverable product. So usually in project, modules are related to each other. And usually, when we are talking about your project, you use the single technology stack. Or even if you use a different technology stack, again, it is still a single deliverable, whether it's set of microservices, whether it's backend and front end, but it is still describes the structure of your deliverable. In contrast, Workspace, it is like a generic description of your development environment. Again, thank you, Mala, for your comment regarding your office space. So on your table, you can have various things that can help you in different situations. You may not need pencil right now, but you still have it on your table. And Workspace contains the same idea. So you can keep all required projects, all required pieces of code, all required libraries in a single workspace in your IDE and use them as you need them. So that's it. Moreover, workspace should be technology agnostic. Again, it's just a generic container. It is not linked to any technology. It is not linked to any build tool. It is basically the arrangement of your code. Oh, Mala, we cannot hear you.
Sorry about that. I have a quick question before we move to the next slide. If you can go back to the previous slide.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, you mentioned that uh, when we talk about workspaces, we're talking about projects which could be um, container for projects. So are we also talking about, let's say, I'm trying to migrate one version of, let's say, a Maven project to the next version. Could I use that for migration projects as well? Because I was talking with one of my friends this morning, and he was really excited about this one. And he said he wants to migrate one of his project, which uses Maven 3, to the same project by using Maven 4. So could I use workspaces in this scenario?
If you have two folders
Mm-hmm.
with the code, of course you can. So all you need to do just import those projects into your workspace and just
Mm-hmm.
use it. Yeah, sure.
That sounds a great use case for people who are trying to work with migration issues. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
thank you. And let's continue talking about use cases. So when
Mhm.
we would recommend you to use workspaces. First, when you work with project from different repositories, you don't need to bother in creating like a multi-module project and then import sources into different modules. All you need to do just to import projects into from different repositories, and we will see how it can be done. Then if you have unrelated project, for example, I believe lots of you have a number of small pet projects where you can just, I don't know, try new technologies, try new frameworks, languages, etc. In this case, your big workspace with small projects can be helpful. If you're using with different technology stacks, again, when you're working with backend and front end, you can import those projects separately into the workspace and work with them separately, switching between them without switching IDE windows. And another case that can be useful if you have a huge monorepo. So monorepo is a popular way of arranging your code, but since monorepos are tending to be big, importing everything into your project, into your idea can be, well, kind of painful. So in Workspace, you can just import some of the projects from your monorepo and work with them. Uh, when we started working on Workspace plugin, we thought about this kind of generic application architecture. Here you have backend services. Here you can have API gateway, client applications, etc., etc., etc. And finally, we came up with three main use cases, and I will show them soon. In the live coding session. So the first use case is when you work as a full stack developer, when you have client and backend application and have to work with them. For example, you provide a new API in backend application and work with this application and work with the client. So let's have a look at that. In order to work with Workspaces, all you need to do is just install a plugin from Marketplace called Multi-Project Workspace. That's it. After that, Workspaces will be available in your IDE. And when you click on New Project, you can see a new project type. We delivered Workspaces as a plugin just to test the functionality. It is early access. It is an incubating feature. So again, your feedback is welcome. In this case, I'm creating like Workspace for my blog application, and this workspace will be created in the web stream folder in my computer, and I can add projects right away. So I will take my test project here. Sorry, here I have my Spring Boot project for a backend for a simple blog application, and let me create it. So here we have our workspace. And inside the workspace, you can see your project. At the moment, we support Gradle and Maven build tools within the project, so you can see that IDEA created the run configuration for your Spring application. I prepared some code, and for this application, I have changed the API. So since this is a blog post application, we have articles, etc., etc. And for the article, I have created the subtitle field, and this subtitle field should be shown in my client application. So first, let us start my application here and check
So,
if I have my
so at present we
articles.
have, so at present we are running a backend Spring application, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
are running
Thank you.
backend Spring application,
Mm-mm.
and
Mm-mm.
here we have like API article
Mm-mm.
here, and I will just fetch all the articles from my backend.
Just to make sure that the services is up and running.
Yes,
And
I can
yes,
see
right.
subtitle field, which is, yeah,
Mm-mm.
what I wanted. And now I
Mm-mm.
have my front-end application, and this
Mm-mm.
front-end application is like made by a third-party vendor, and it is stored in GitHub. So now
Mm-mm.
I need to add this front-end application into my workspace. All I need to do, just say new project from version control, and I will check out this project into test22 folder. So it's not going to be stored in my workspace as a file system, but workspace will store the link to this project inside it. So let me just open this project, and it asks whether I want to add this project into my workspace. So I'm adding it, and let's run npm install. And while it's running, let's open my README and see what is going on in this project. So this is the React plus Redux project, and all I need to do to run this is to switch the environment variable to my local backend, because by default, this application will take data from somewhere else.
And Andre, when you added your React application, the IDE could detect that it's a React application, and that's why you got a pop-up to run npm.
Yes, so it
Yes. Wow.
detects that it's an application, but I'll need to create run configuration by myself. But
Right.
when I create it, let's see, npm, it detects scripts. You see that it detects package JSON, it detects commands, and it detects scripts for this application. So let's run it. Oh, and oops, sorry, I forgot to switch my I forgot to switch my backend environment variable, but still you see this is my local application. So let's switch it back. We need to edit my run configuration. Oh, not this, but this one. We need to open environment variables and say that I need my React application backend as the local host 8080 API. Okay, so we are ready to run. So here is my new application. Now I can show my subtitle. So here we have title, article, and text article, but I don't have a subtitle. So all I need to do just edit my source code, and that's it. So basically, this is the work that everybody does daily. And what I'm doing is I can just switch between my projects, update my API, etc., 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 within the same IDE. So let me go. Yeah, while I'm doing something, Mala, feel free to ask questions. Yeah.
Yes, so we have a question by Savan, and he's asking, so where's the code right now? Because you mentioned that the workspace would have a pointer to your code base, not really added to the file system related to your code base, related to your workspace. And he's saying that the front-end application is running, but Andrey said that code is not on the file system. So where is the code right now?
No, the code is on the file system, but it's not on the workspace folder. That's it.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
So it's in the original
Sorry for the
position.
confusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are talking about a pointer to the data, not the actual data.
Yeah. So and here I'm just adding my, where is that? Yeah, here it is. All I need to do, I just need to add my subtitle article. So basically that's it. And if we switch back to my IDE, we see that we have, we have subtitle shown here. So again, here we have our workspace with two projects using different stacks, and we can work on those projects simultaneously. So we can stop our backend, we can update our backend without just changing something, and that's more or less it. By the way, if you don't need any project in your workspace right now, for example, you want to continue working on the backend and don't want to update front end, or don't want IDEA to index front end, all you need to do is just say load and unload modules. So it is kind of closing the project within the workspace. We will make UX better, but here you can just unload your npm system, and IDEA will not re-index files, will not update configurations, etc., because this is just another folder for the IntelliJ IDEA. So if you don't need anything, you can unload the module, and that's it. By the way, this works also for big projects. So people kept asking about about closing projects in the IntelliJ IDEA.
So, Andrey, we have another question about loading projects. There's a question by Andres, and he's asking, is there a way to select from which project to take the commit ID or the branch name from, the one that is displayed up left?
Yeah, basically, this is the, you see, we see, we can see the Git branches here. So if you open here, you can just check out any branch you want.
Okay, that makes sense.
The workspace itself can be saved into Git, and also every project has its own Git system. So here we can switch between branches.
Thank you so much. I'll let you move forward with the rest of your session.
Yeah. That was the first use case. We called it like
Mhm.
code name full stack developer, and the
Mhm.
second use case is called microservices developer. So usually we can have like huge monorepo with hundreds of microservices, and
Mhm.
the problem with all those microservices that you don't need all of them right now being in your IDE. So how we can deal with that in IntelliJ IDEA with workspaces. So let me open the project. I have one here in WebStream. It is Spring Pet Clinic microservices. Here it is. So here is the big project with lots of microservices, and it contains like all the servers serving web clinic, like vets visits, etc., etc., etc. Also, we have a Docker Compose for that, and fortunately, we have lots of scripts saying run all, so we can run our microservices without packing them into containers. So
Mhm.
probably, guys, you know the problem with containers. So if you start some microservices in container and some of them out of the container, there will be some network problems with name resolution, etc., etc., etc. So now we have this startup script. And all we need to do is just update some of the services. Again, so let's close the project and create a new workspace saying clinic here, and we will add like API gateway and veterinarians into this project. So let me check where is the okay, let me check again. Pet clinic, add projects, API gateway, and API services. Sorry. Uh, I will add the project. Okay, here we are. I will add another project. Just let me check. Yeah, here we are.
So once you're done with
Oh, yeah.
this use case, there's so many questions related to the previous example that you had.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of questions are
While
coming in.
everything is being indexed, I'm
Mm.
free to answer those questions.
Oh,
We are
lovely.
not far from that. So let us answer those questions.
Lovely. So I have a follow-up question from Andres when you showed how a project from a particular branch could be used in a workspace. So he would like to see the branch name up there because he also mentioned what if he is working with multiple branches and he would like to see which branch has been checked out. I guess this could be a good feature
This is the ticket.
suggestion.
This is the issue for us.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
we need to polish the UX. So we need to
Mhm.
switch context between the workspace itself as a project and modules themselves as a project. So yes, uh, that's that's that's
That's
a
in
nice
works. Yes.
issue. That's a nice that's nice feedback, and I think
Mhm.
we will get it properly noted. Yes, I believe we
Okay.
even have an issue for that. Thanks,
Okay.
thanks, Andres.
So I would request Andres to go to our U track and log in a ticket sharing the use case that he would like the feature in IDEA. And of course, if we have a similar issue already, then we can pick it up. So would that be a good way? Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. So that's a great use case, and probably we will implement it. How
And
is commit change view now? Yeah.
so this is what this was about because the workspace you mentioned workspace could also have multiple branches. So I think this is a follow-up question for that one. There was another question. Yes. So this was the initial question. How is the Git repo management for multi-repo workspaces? And then Jose had a follow-up question and he asked about Git changes for multi-repo. How is the commit change view now?
Okay. I got the question. So it is pretty the same. So we need basically workspace now. It's a kind of the project in terms of previous
Mhm.
model, internal model in IntelliJ IDEA, and at the moment we see all the changes. Like it is pretty the same. Let me just change something. Uh, false. Like this say true, and here I will change something too. Yeah, let me just change it. So here
Mhm.
we can see the changes, and you can group them by directory and group them by module, so you can see your changes based on your workspace structure. So
That makes sense.
not too
Mhm.
much has changed, but
Mhm.
still, yeah, you can see the structure. And again, Jose, we will continue
Mhm.
improving that, since this is the early access. We had the blog post and we have this stream to get the information about, and the workspace usages, use cases, etc., because we cannot predict everything. So yeah, fantastic feedback. Mala, any other questions?
There are
Or
lots of questions. You just have to tell me when to stop.
let's answer another one, and I believe
Okay.
Dmitry will
Then.
answer some of them
Mhm.
in the chat, because he knows
Mhm.
API from inside out, and
Mhm.
probably he will answer some technical questions.
Okay, so this is from Adam, and he's asking from the Maven and Gradle perspective, workspaces are not needed. In Maven, you could use reactive project style. What are
Yeah,
we missing
if
here?
you feel that you don't need workspaces, you just can
Mhm.
continue working as previously. So some
Mhm.
people find it useful, some people just adopt their development style based
Mhm.
on their infrastructures, their habits, etc. So we
Mhm.
do not make you use workspaces like
Mhm.
it's an option. It's one more way of arranging your code. If you are happy with the current
Mhm.
situation, you're fine. If you are not, try workspaces. So that's it.
So there's another one. I'll just mention it because I know
Yeah.
that you would be covering that in your presentation. It's about sharing the workspace configuration with team members, and I believe you will do that, cover that later in your session. So
Yeah,
stay.
I can answer it right now. For the
Okay.
moment, you can
Mhm.
share your
Mhm.
workspace with your team members, but we do not still store GitHub links in the workspace as it is. So
Okay.
right now we are working on the shareable workspaces,
Mhm.
and Dmitry knows even the issue number, and
Mhm.
we looking forward to deliver this feature because it is important. If you have like let me continue with my workspace. So this is my workspace with two files, two microservices that I'm going to work with, and
Mhm.
I need a starter to create my infrastructure, to start my infrastructure, and just
Mhm.
run those microservices separately. So all I
Mhm.
need to do, let me just do something. All I need to do is just create a couple of shell scripts to run my
Mhm.
workspace. Sorry, to run my microservices. And sharing those scripts will be a nice addition when you want to share the workspace with your colleague. So you can deliver a predefined workspace to your colleague, and it may be very helpful if you work like in one team which works on
Mhm.
the same set of microservices. So you will deliver not just microservices, but also some scripts that will help you with getting familiar with your development environment. So this is one of the uh, features that we are implementing, that we have in our backlog. So let me just start. Let me just start my script. So what is that? Let me open it in console. Sorry. Uh, sorry, run all, and let me run all my scripts. So it takes some time. I'm starting my microservices apart from those that which I'm going to work on. So I'm going to run my veterinary service and API gateway separately. By the way, you see we have logs here, and I believe that everything has started. So, yep, I think we are good to go. So now I can run my API gateway, and we have this application here. I just forgot to enable Lombok in my environment. Okay, and here we are. We should have localhost 8080, and this is the familiar pet clinic, but we still do not have veterinarians here. And as for veterinarians, I just want to modify my API. So all I need to do is just go here and modify my, let's say, model probably, and add kind of, I don't know, integer like salary for my veterinarian. I'm going to make it transient. I'm not going to update my database because it takes some time. So here I will just say random. Oops, new random dot next int. So whatever. So next time we will see a salary for our veterinarians here. And let me start my API and check if it works fine. So veterinarians, let's start them. I believe we are good to go, and all the veterinarians are here. So let me check whether or not we have our veterinaries. Not yet, but after some time, I think our discovery will fix it. Come on. So yeah, so the idea is while it's just discovering, the idea is that I have all my microservices running, and now all my infrastructure running in background, and now all I need to do just update my microservices taken partially in my big mono repository, and work with them as a part of the project. Meanwhile, having some additional scripts in my workspace. So this is how this is the idea. So you have not just your projects, but also some additional things in the workspace. And this is not the part of any project. This shouldn't be committed to any of the microservice code, because it is your own set of tools. This is your pencil on your table that you use personally. So this is your own customized tool. So let me check if we have veterinarians. Yeah, we have.
Yes.
Fantastic. And if we have any questions from the chat, I'm good to answer it. We'll be happy to answer them. And after that, we will switch to our third case.
A lot of questions. So I think the answer to this question seems obvious. So Sagar is asking, does workspace and loading multiple repos can affect memory consumption? I guess the answer would be the same. Memory would be used if the projects are loaded in different IDEA instances or otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's pretty the same. So the difference is just negligible. And just to remember, you can always unload module. You can
Yes.
always unload your module.
Yes. Yes, so that the memory consumption can drop. And also, you mentioned about the indexing part. If a module is closed, then IDEA will not index it, and that would also speed up a lot of
Yeah,
things. Yes.
yeah.
So there's another question by Adam, and he's asking: is there some big difference when creating workspace and opening one folder as project with all of other projects inside? We use this now, and it works well.
Open with all. So, Adam, I believe that you use the um, project with multiple modules approach because, well, before you have only, yep, like project and modules model. So again,
Mm-hmm.
if it works for you, just keep using it. No problem with that. Not problem at all. So we think just because we think that workspaces will be a bit more usable for people who want to create their own customized environment and just
Mm-hmm.
keep tools there.
I missed that. Dimitri already answered that. So that question was answered. I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that. There's one question, and I guess you would be covering that in your next use case. If yes, then probably we can drop this one. Or do you think this one is relevant? Having a monolith with some external libraries. At this moment, if I debug my code, I couldn't navigate to source code properly.
Yeah, this
And
is, yeah, I got it. So this is our third case. So let me stop
Mhm,
all the applications and close my workspace. So, or this is our third case when we call it library development, and this is a bit, to my mind, it's a bit artificial because it's not very widespread, but still this can be your case when you implement something, but oh, sorry, I think it's not exactly relevant. Sorry, I just got my second thought. So as for the, well, could you show me the question again? As soon as you have
uh,
your
yes, so there are two parts to the question. So this is the
Mhm.
first one, which you already
Let's keep it.
saw.
Let's keep it on the screen. Yes, uh, you should be able to navigate to your source code. Um,
Mhm,
I believe we in workspace. So when if you work with the project model, you should be able to navigate to your source code. If you work with workspace model, it's a bit different story. But we are working on better uh, code resolve between different projects and different workspaces. So, Daniel, I hope I answered your question. So I guess that if you're using on a multi-model project and you have dependencies to your modules, you should be able to navigate to source code. If you cannot, just let us know. Just yeah, put an issue into your track and vote for that. Keep voting, guys. Keep voting for issues. It will help us to understand what is really important for people. Yeah.
So he also has a follow-up question. If I include in same workspace, should I expect to debug the code for an external dependency?
Again, you should be able to do that. So let me show
Mhm,
my show the third use case, which may
mhm.
look relevant to that. So this
Okay.
is the case when you have Spring Boot Starter for your huge monolithic application, and you need to debug the starter. And first, you need to develop it. And since you have this huge application, it will be quite a big thing to run it for the sake of debugging a small starter. So sometimes it is useful to have your library code in the IDE and create a small, like, kind of trash application that you can throw away after debugging your starter. So let us uh, let us see how it works in our case. So here we have my starter. We have my starter, and this is a very simple thing. We have an auto configuration with the greeting service, and this greeting service will return welcome to pet clinic application, something like that, as simple as that. So all we need to do, and we need to debug this starter to know how we can attach it, how we can invoke it, etc., etc. So we just say new project, and we create a new Spring Boot project. The zoom doesn't work well in all cases. So here we have, like, say, demo web application with Groovy, etc. And this is gonna be the Spring Web application. And we will add this application into the project. So again, it is your custom workspace. So this is the application that you have created for yourself, and this is only the thing that only you will use. So here, let's create a great controller. REST controller, and here we can say public string greet something and return hello world, something like that. So our AI helps me to creating this controller quickly. Let me start the app and check if it works fine. No, I forgot one thing. I need to add my starter into this application. So I go to my starter application, starter library here, and I need to deploy it to my local Maven. Publish to Maven local. Here we have it deployed, and now I need to update my implementation. So let me just add the information about this thing, and also I need to say that I have Maven local here. So here we are, and I guess we can try our web application now. No, it won't work because I forgot what? I forgot get mapping. Get mapping, great. That's it. Now we are good to go. Great. So let's generate our source, and here we have hello world. Now I need to inject my service from my library into the application. Let us stop it. And we should say pet cleaning greeting service dot autowire. Okay, so let's make it proper. Pet cleaning greeting service. And here we create a constructor. Here it is. And now we need to say pet cleaning greeting service dot greet. So AI helps me with that. Let us start our application again.
I absolutely love the code completion part, which happens. It's like you're writing the code and the IDE knows what exactly is on your mind.
Yeah, so for most cases, it helps you to start quickly. So here we have our line saying welcome to Spring Pet Cleaning. And regarding the question about navigating the code, so here we have navigation to the Pet Cleaning greeting service, and we can download sources and debug them. We should be able to download sources, yes. And also we can just put the sorry, we can put our debug breakpoint and start it. But the problem here is that those applications right now are not linked as they as they should be. So this
Mhm.
application knows about the code in repository, and this
Mhm.
library doesn't know anything about linking to the web application. So again, we are
Mhm.
working on that, but to my mind, the workflow, as I showed you now, is a bit more, let's say, obvious. So you know the workflow that your library should go to Maven repository first, then it will be
Mhm.
updated in your local application, and then you can debug it. So let us
Mhm.
try the generated request, and you see we can debug the source code if we have one.
Mhm.
So that's it, I believe, for the
Mhm.
third test case.
Okay, so that also answers Daniel's question about debugging the external dependency.
Yeah,
Yes.
so again, for now we do not do direct links between projects inside the workspace. We do
Mhm.
not know that this particular dependency, let me say, this particular dependency is
Mhm.
the same dependency as we have in our workspace here. We
Mhm.
just do not we haven't implemented it yet. I would say that because we know that IDEA knows that we
Mhm.
have all the coordinates here in our build Gradle, so we can associate it. We haven't implemented it yet. So we are looking forward into better dependency resolution within the project inside the workspace.
Mhm.
So
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
no, let me know when you want me to ask the next question, or I'll let you complete your.
Let
Um,
me just say what
yes.
we're planning
Okay.
now, and after that, we will go to questions. So, first things
Mhm.
first, bug fixes. For now, we have a couple of annoying bug fixes that may disappoint you. For example, we have some issues with renaming projects within the workspace. We have some issues with unloading, running applications from the workspace. So those are they may be annoying, but they won't prevent you from using that. Uh, the next thing is better user experience. So I showed you the dependency resolution thing. We are working on that. Then we might implement something like detecting what you have in your workspace and provide the Docker Compose, or just help you with that, with running some multiple projects simultaneously. Also, there was a bug from a feedback saying that we need to be able to recompile only a selected projects. For example, here, if we say build project, we will rebuild everything. But it is expected that when we are in the project, building project should rebuild only the project that we have here. By the way, the
Mhm.
advantage of workspaces is that you can have one project broken and another one will be fine, and you can use the another one. So
Mhm.
like those. So some things like those. Then shareable workspaces. I mentioned that. Where you can share your settings, where you can share your links to GitHub, your personal tools, your private scripts, etc., 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 with your colleagues to help them to get familiar with your project. And finally, as soon as everything is stable, we will add this feature to the IDE's core. So it will be available by default. So you won't need to download a plugin. It will be bundled into the IDE from the start. As soon as you download the IDE, it is gonna be available. So I think that concludes my almost concludes my speech. So I'm ready to answer some
Mhm.
questions if Dmitry hasn't answered them yet. And after that, yeah, we will finish the stream.
So Dimitri is answering a lot of questions. So we have tons of questions. So just a couple which came in, and I think this one was left. Uh, Mauritius is asking, I feel it's going to be harder to control Git in console with more projects on the same workspace, or maybe it's not an issue until you don't get .git in main workspace directory. So
Uh, yeah,
yes.
just let me answer again. So you are checking out. your projects not inside your workspace directory. So you can check them out to a different directory. And workspace folder will be just different from your project folder. And in this case, it will be much easier to control Git in your console. And again, think of workspace as a separate entity, separate thing that will help you to just group your projects.
And there's another question related to Git. So Mirko is asking, a project-based view of the Git log would be awesome because now it shows the whole workspace at once. And if you have many projects, it can be a bit daunting.
Yeah, definitely. I think lots of those questions can be redirected to our VCS team who work with Git to help
Mm.
people just to deal with them better. But yes, that's fair point. And again, this is work in progress. As for Git, it is for now it works, but we are looking to making it better, the user experience better.
Right. So Mauritius is saying thanks for the answer. And there's a follow-up question related to one of the questions that you answered.
Mhm.
In the add projects, there should be also a list of recent projects list and also a search for projects from a root folder. So I don't need to search a file structure for projects.
Again, yeah, cool. Mala, can you copy it and send it in Slack? I will create an issue for that. Thank you. I'm
Mm.
afraid I want Musha for the feedback. Yes, it would be a great addition to the user experience for sure. Thank you very much.
So we would have all the comments in our with our video. So when all of this would be available, and everyone watching, the suggestions are great, the feature requests are great, and of course we'll try to add those to the feature list that we have. But if some of you could create the issues in our U tracker, that would be great as well. So that and upvote, as Andrew said, so that we don't miss any one of those.
Yeah, thank you.
So
So
Mirko
I
is
will
saying
ask
thank you. Yes.
our host Sergey, please
Mhm.
could you share my screen? Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you. So, and finally, I would like to thanks everybody. So we had like 400 voters. We have active contributors in terms of providing feedback to our feature. So here you can see some guys from the list of the voters for the ticket. If you find yourself, yeah, that's great. There are 400 of them, so I could not put everybody. But again, we love feedback. Please leave comments in the ticket. Please leave comments in the plugin. And well, I prefer you to leave comments in the ticket, and please vote for issue if something is very annoying. So, and it's a kind of universal rule. If you don't like something in IDEA, just go there and vote for this issue. In this case, we will know that you need this feature or this bug is the mostly annoying. So thanks everybody. Here is the multi-project workspace link in our marketplace. Just type in the search window the multi-project workspace plugin and just install it, and you can play with that. I guess that's a conclusion. Thanks.
And with that, thank you so much, Andre. And we would need the code to some feedback for this project. So let me add this one. Yes. So everyone watching, please use the QR code or the link which you can see on the screen right now, and share your feedback on the session. We take that very seriously, and that really helps us to improve our future sessions. And thanks everyone for watching, listening, and a lot of thank you messages are coming in. So Andre, I'll show them to you. So that's thanks. Sagar is thanking Dimitri, me, and you, and then we
Thanks.
have thanks. So more coming in. We have Emmanuel, and
Mhm.
so thank you so much. It was great. And Dimitri, thank you so much for answering all the question. Dimitri was super fast, and he was answering so many of the questions. So thank you,
Fantastic.
Dimitri. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thanks, everybody.
So thanks everyone for watching and for participating, asking questions. We really hope you were able to understand more about workspaces in IDEA. And Andrey, thanks again. And before we close the stream, Andrey, if you have any closing thought, closing remarks, you could share that now. Then I'll
No,
quickly.
again, so please share your feedback. Otherwise, we won't know what you need. Thanks, everybody,
Mhm.
for joining, for listening, for your questions. Thanks, Marla and Dmitry, for helping me with that. And yeah, see you next time.
Yes, and everyone's watching, do not miss the next session that we have on Spring Boot on 26th of September, Thursday, by Shiva Reddy. And he's a very popular person in the space of Spring Boot and teaching how to create Spring Boot applications with joy. So do not miss that session. And until then, bye-bye.